Let's get going. Welcome to Forex.Today, everybody. This is the YouTube channel that focuses on getting rich quick so you can buy fast cars, fly in jet planes, buy a yacht, and have very pretty young people dance around you in very tiny bathing suits. Oh wait, no, that's not the right channel. No, we look at trading the foreign exchange like business people. We look at the long term. We're patient, we're disciplined, we're focused. This is about doing hard work day in and day out, good, bad, ugly. You got to show up and have a game. And if that sounds right to you, then you're in the right place. So let me remind you that even with all that hard work, planning all your trades in advance, doing all your fundamental and technical analysis, trading is still risky and not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term. Never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Ni hao. Hey, we gotta fix that whole microphone, huh? Why does it turn off? Anywho, my name is Wayne. Let me know how it can help. Been doing this a long time. Before becoming a Forex trader as a venture capitalist. Before that, I was a high-tech entrepreneur. Before that, I worked in the nonprofit world. I ran an organization of 3,000 people, sat on the board of directors with George Soros. The vice president of General Electric was on the board. Vice President Arthur Anderson was on the board, a representative from the United Nations. Before that, I worked at NASA because I was on my way to becoming an astronaut. Yeah, I was going to fly for the Navy for 8 years. Whoop, whoop. And then move on to NASA. Well, I'd already worked at NASA for 2 summers. And before that, I had a paper route. Actually, I had 2 paper routes. And I worked hockey games. So if you go all the way back, I grew up poor, but always loved money. And the way to make money when you're poor is just work hard. So here I am all these years later, retired supermodel and foreign exchange trader. And wow, I've never seen anything as awesome as this. So I am in love. I'm a man in love with Forex. So I can share from all those experiences. Let me know how I can help. I know a few things about macroeconomics and fundamental analysis. I know a few things about that as well. So, hey man, just let me know how I can help. I want to fill the gaps. And the number one thing I want to do, or the first thing I want to do, is help you stop the bleeding. Second thing is I want you to stabilize your trading. And third, I want you to become profitable. And not by making bigger trades, better trades, more trades, but instead trading like a business, long-term goals and focus. Cool. In the description below the video, there's a link to my book. Please leave a review. There's also a link to my community that I started about 20 years ago, and that's fxbootcamp.com. And I have to give FX Bootcampers an apology. I've been secretly working on a major upgrade to our community website to add many more amazing features. And the developers last night, right before our meeting, launched it. I'm like, what? They just like, boom, it's live. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's live? It's not. So they built all the technology, but none of it is set up properly. I mean, they just launched it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the So just a cluster F. But it should be ready to go for the swing trading meeting. Lucas says it looks impressive. Well, it's got features in it like, like our Zoom meetings built into the FX Bootcamp community. So we can actually do our live meetings, not with Zoom, still do breakout rooms, all built in, and then automatically, I think, because I haven't configured anything, so I don't know, but I believe after we're done, the recordings are automatically put into the community. So like, it's really cool, but imagine it sort of like Zoom and Discord built directly into our community. Okay, but I have to apologize because it's not configured. So I'm going to end up spending most of my day trying to figure out what needs to be done and how to configure it and how to set it all up. So, but I do believe we'll be fine for our swing trading group. And be patient with me for the next little bit while we figure this out. But it's a huge upgrade. It's a massive upgrade. Okay. Could it be used for after-hour meetings amongst boot campers? Yes, yes. And we won't need things like side Discord servers and stuff. All of that's now built in. And it's really cool. Like there's really some really neat features I can't tell you about yet because I was going to plan a launch for it. But really, really cool interactive stuff. And there's a lot of, it tracks your participation level. There's a leaderboard and for those that are contributing the most and interacting the most. And like, there's some really, 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 really cool community features. Maybe another one. I was, again, I guess it's too late to just slowly launch these things, but imagine that, I don't know. We'll leave it there. There's some really cool stuff coming. So the money has been spent, the upgrade's been done, and then boom, I guess the programmers just pushed me out of the nest and oh my God, it's live. So I got to scramble. Got to scramble, but anywho. All right, so let me, and then the next thing, so there's, buy my book, or, I think you already have it. The book's already 10, 12 years old, right? Yeah, leave a review, please. Second thing, join FX Bootcamp. And you will see but let's say the basic membership level that has video only. Now you have access to interacting with the entire community. It's not like you're over there, second class citizen, and then all the live group members are over here doing some other things. Now we all can communicate together in a Discord-like setting and participate and have challenges and all this kind of stuff working together to really improve your trading. So join FX Bootcamp. $88 a year, and you're going to see there's some really huge upgrades that you're going to benefit from. Yeah. Okay. Is it for all members or only day trading? So it'll be for everybody. The idea, see, guys, once you join, let's say the swing trading group, because that's $99 a month, you're going to find out that a huge part of the benefit is the other traders like you. The community is huge. So now I've just put the community aspect of our team on steroids. Okay. Well, I just don't want two places burned. It's too complicated. So, and then, so it's not a trust issue. It's inefficient to have two places. And then, lastly, I want you to check out tradersway.com. They're an ethical foreign exchange broker that I trust. They earned my loyalty and respect. I hope that that shines some light and you say, wow, that's interesting. Maybe I should check them out. I think you should check them out. I think you will like them. I think they're a good broker. You're going to need a broker. So don't choose one randomly. Certainly don't choose one because you saw a banner ad that said they're the cheapest. Okay? You don't want the cheapest broker. In fact, they're probably almost certainly lying to you. You don't see those cheap, unscrupulous brokers. What they do is they promise you, oh, it's only a half a pip, but then they slip a half a pip in and slip a half a pip out, and you end up paying significantly more than you think, and it's unscrupulous. They're ripping you off on the soft dollars and promising you hard dollar cheap. Don't go cheap. I don't like anything cheap. Okay? I don't like anything cheap. What I like is value. Okay? Yeah, Maida, I think that might be the right thing. That might be the right thing. But, we'll get there, okay? But the thing is, like Jim and Maida and the others that are really hardcore participants, members of our community, the ones that go above and beyond helping others, you will be recognized now inside the FX Bootcamp. Like it'll notice that you're doing that, and you'll get, there's simple things, but they're badges and all that kind of stuff. But you'll be recognized not just by me, but also by the rest of the community. And it'll show the dedication that you're putting in and the effort that you're putting in. And, so this will be really, really cool. It'll show. It'll show. So it's good. Yeah. Yeah, well, but more than that, so I could just for example, say, boom, okay, I'm going to make you a moderator or something, right? Oh, you're an MVP thing. No, but it doesn't even need me. It'll look at who is the most interactive. And there's all these scoring, it scores as you go. So there's built-in gamification, and it'll just show who the MVPs are, not just because I picked my friends, but it shows you're kick ass. And if you give somebody some advice, they better sit up in their chair and take note. Okay? Yeah. So, it'll just show your level of awesomeness. It'll also make you a little taller and a little thinner. Online, of course. I'm taller and thinner online. All right, so anyway, let's take a look. The biggest loser is NASDAQ and the S&P 500 and the Dow, but for some reason, DAX is up. This is as of 8:07 this morning. So Kiwi is up, Kiwi dollar is up, Kiwi Swissy is up, Kiwi CAD is up, Kiwi Yen is up. Oh, you see a thread? Aussie dollar is up, Aussie Swissy is up, Aussie CAD is up, Aussie Yen is slightly up. Okay. Hey now. For retail quant boxes, is there an alternative you feel can replicate the heat map? So are you, I guess, yes, Santiago. I was going to launch, you guys are going to laugh at me. I laugh at myself. I feel so bad. I was going to launch it on the 15th of February, but I'll be honest with you. Yesterday, I got some sort of food poisoning. And so I kind of I was really on the fence of like canceling the day trading meeting. And I'm dragging my butt and dragging my butt. And it's like 15 minutes before the meeting. And then I decide, oh, I'm going to man up and I'm going to do the day trading group anyways, because I never quit. And then I log in and the entire website's on fire. Like everything is, because the developers just launched this new whole community and had merged everything over and organizing things into weird groups. And the meeting wasn't even set up and it wasn't organized. It wasn't promoted. I didn't do like a training video or like, I don't even know where things are. And I'm like, holy crap. And so now, not only am I a little bit slow today, and I was very slow yesterday, so I didn't get much work done. Now I got to spend all day trying to organize our community site. Then I got to do the swing trading group, which is a lot of effort. I'm really exhausted after that meeting. And then Friday I got meetings with hedge funds and stuff. So like, oh my God, when am I going to launch Quantbox? When am I going to launch it? So I'm going to probably push again. I'm probably going to push it till March 1st. It's so sad. But here's what I'm getting at, Santiago. Hang on, brother. You're like, I don't have access to the heat map. But the pros do, because the pros have real-time access and the retail don't. I have a solution that I'm going to announce when I announce it. And let me just say, do I have an alternative? Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, no, it's there. In the end, the saddest thing, Santiago, is it's already been done. The technical part's been done. So the answer is yes. So I just got to get my butt off. All right. Anyways, let's move on. Thank you, by the way, for answering the poll. Today's poll is, what are you trading today? Risk on, dollar down. Risk on, Bitcoin up. Risk off, dollar up. Risk off, gold down. So if you could, please answer. Yes, Santiago, nail biter. You know, I mean, it's the sad thing. I just want to launch it properly. But I've already spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's already done. And you could just have it. So I really got to get this done so you can have it. It's already been spent. Okay. Anywho, let's see. Thank you for answering. 56 voters. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you are overwhelmingly risk on, US dollar down. Morning, Brian. I thought for a second, oh my God, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, wait, you don't live in Hawaii in the jungle anymore. My jungle boot camper. I'm like, that's right. Wait, yeah, new time zone. Only, what, a year and a half ago? Yeah, I'm so funny. I'm so slow in those things. Yeah. Hey, do you miss your wigwam? Brian used to live in a wigwam in the jungle. I'm like, cool, wigwam, dude. Yeah, with the modern open plan. Open air plan. So anywho, yeah. So looking around the world. Yeah, I bet. Okay. Dilly dollar down. Yen kind of flat. Euro giving up. Now check this out, guys. Euro down, dollar down. That's weird. So right off the bat, you might say that's a good thing. Right off the bat, I say this is a bad thing. Let me move this, fit this in a little better for you guys. Dollar down and euro down at the same time is a bit odd. Hang on, I'm trying to get this. Wow, there we go. All right, so let me reset this. Pachow. There, that's better for you. Yeah, David says might open up. That's what it was saying earlier. The issue is you should think beyond today's open, in my opinion. But anyways, we'll get there. So the first red flag over the last few hours is dollar down and euro down. That's a bit strange. Now, Kiwi is trying to head up, and if you remember, I showed you that Kiwi has been forming quite well lately. So we might want to take a look at that. Pound doing very good. Okay. Aussie doing good. Remember the Aussie dollar, Aussie Swiss franc, Aussie yen. Now, I can't remember, was that in a day trading group or a swing trading group where I asked you guys to focus on a China reopening plan and using things like Swiss franc and yen, not just dollar? Was that day trading or swing trading? Was it swing? So that was Thursday. Okay, that was Thursday. Okay, cool. So we could take a look, for example, how to wait for that patience, right? Or how to be patient to wait for the setup. Here's pound Aussie. I don't know if this is the best one to be doing, but it's still trending down. So let's get away from that. Aussie Kiwi, that's not the one I'm interested in. Aussie CAD, again, not really a China reopening play, but you can see what's going on here. Oh, let me find my drawing tool. Okay. Oh, thank you, Denise, for the claims. As expected. Okay. All right. So a couple of things here. Oh, where did it go? Dang it. Oh, there, I see it. I see it. All right, there we go. All right, so here's the thing. If you're a monthly position trader, so you intend to hold your trades for, let's say, a couple of weeks, not a couple of hours, the best buying pivots, well, let me do that in a different color. The best buying pivots of the month are here and here. And so you don't know if that's going to work. You don't know if that's going to work. You don't know if this is going to work. But all of those are your plans. Okay? So what we know here oh, Jeffrey says, so unemployment level slowing. Well, yeah, you can look at the trend. I mean, look, it's another data point, right? So it's within a normal distribution of that trend. But over time, will that shift the slope of the mean? Will that show higher and higher? Like, it won't really matter until we get several more, Jeffrey, where it shows 196, and then the next one is 199, and the next one is 203, and the next one's 205, and all of a sudden, it's that change in trend. Johnny's like, Disney dropped 7K today. Yeah, I heard about that. That's one of the stocks I bought 4 or 5 months ago. And so we'll see. Typically, you'll benefit from that. What surprises me is they own, ESPN. They own, their, obviously, Disney Plus. They own a bunch of things. But 40% of their profits still come from Disney World, Disneyland, from their theme parks. I'm really surprised by that. But anyways, guys, going back to this, if you're looking to buy odd, that's how you set that up. And you'll notice that there was no real entry here, so I don't think you would have caught it, unless you just did a limit order in, but that's a little lazy. The second one is here, which did happen. So there are bulls involved, but notice now that bears are also going to try to get involved. So now we're in this scenario of bulls are already in and bears are getting ready. And we don't know who's going to win, but somebody's going to win. So the trick is, if you're a bull, okay, this might be an entry. And if you're a bear, this might be an entry. And you don't really want to be in the middle. I mean, I guess you could be here and then drop your stop here, or drop your stop there, depending on your direction. But I want you to think in terms of, that's the monthly plan for a bull. A bear, okay, and we've already talked about this, but the bears have this plan. And they're trading it perfectly, by the way. Okay? Perfect. So bulls and bears are positioned perfectly. Which one's right? I don't know, but you got to pick one. What's your theme? So one of the things we worked on in the swing trading group a week or two ago was thematic trading. Okay, so here we look at this. Now we go back to the swing trading group a week or two ago, probably, I don't know. I don't remember if it was a week or two ago, but we just went through the exact same thing I just showed you on the Aussie CAD. Now, Aussie Swissy is a cleaner trade because Aussie versus CAD is commodity versus commodity. And the main difference is China buys Australia's commodities. The United States buys Canada's commodities. So you could argue it's China versus Canada, or China versus the United States. But at the end of the day, it's commodity versus commodity. And I don't know if that makes sense to trade. But this is an investment currency. This is a funding currency. This one is going to continue raising interest rates, and this one is not likely. So there could be a point in history where this becomes 5% and this becomes 0.5% or 1%, that there'll always be a positive carry and therefore becomes a carry trade as long as China is buying Aussie dollars. So what we discussed a week or two ago was Plan A and Plan B. Was there an entry on Plan A? No. Niet. Okay, niet. But what about Plan B? Yeah, it's stabilizing. And imagine you had an oscillator that says no lower low, but no higher high. What would it look like? First of all, which oscillator measures that? Which one would measure this and say it's in a range? You have two guesses anymore? Any brave souls? By the way, I would like to thank those who are living in the Midwest of Canada and the United States for sending their weather to us. So yesterday it was like 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And by Monday, it's going to be, the high will be 36. Not 60. It's going to go from 63 to 36 as a high. Thanks a lot. Okay. It's stochastics. Okay. Stochastics. And so what this will show you, you'll have a Stokes down here. And then there's an 80-20 zone. And stochastics would look like this. Okay, it'll be oversold, but not rising. Indicators, oscillators, stochastic oscillator. Yeah, boy! So it says, get ready, because this ain't funny. My name's not Mac D, so I'm going to make... So anyways, if you were a bull and you were using a daily chart and you were using stochastics is only helping you read the candles. You don't need stochastics if you could read the candles. But it doesn't hurt either. And what this says to you is, if you are bullish... Now that's where I think all your other YouTube gurus, all the other children, right? The childlike gurus, they say buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. That is not how it works. And trust me, I think everybody here has probably tried that, where you're like, it seems to make sense. Buy when it's oversold, sell when it's overbought. And then buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And what happens after you test that 100 times? You ain't profitable. So we know that's wrong, but that's usually what is sold because that's an easy sell. Instead, what if you were already bullish? Why? You did some analysis and you were only bullish. So you bought, and then jammed your stop. You bought, you jammed your stop. What does this tell you? Get ready to buy if you're at support and this heads back up into the trade zone above 20. Of course, you could drop this down to 10 if you want and take out a lot of the false positives, but you're going to miss more trades. So you want this level of, you want it to be sensitive, but not too sensitive. Okay? But nonetheless, if you were already thinking you're a bull and you already know that that's a bullish pivot, this is telling you what the stochastics is telling you. Okay, when I read just this, I don't even need to look at this chart. I could do it blindly. And what it says is we stopped, or price stopped making lower lows, but it has not begun to make higher highs. So we're in sort of a bullish range. We're in bullish consolidation, meaning we've had some up, we've had some down, we're consolidating, and likely what's going to happen next is up, down, and gone. Cool. Now, when you get down to this area, the only way to kind of pull it down below 20 is for it to stop making lower lows. Okay, so you could cut the corner because it becomes oversold where the next candle is not a lower low. The next candle is not a lower low. So at some point you drop into a 4-hour and you might have already got yourself into this somewhere along the line. Okay, and the reason that happens is bears take profit, but bulls haven't bought yet. No, they're not default settings, Richard. But they're straight out of the training course at FX Bootcamp. And once you understand what the stochastics is doing, you'll understand why I have those settings. So I don't watch stochastics. Stochastics reports to me. There's a difference. A lot of amateur traders throw down a MACD and they're like, the MACD will tell me what to do. No, it won't. You have to tell the MACD what you want to know so that you can set up your trade execution, which means you already have a trade plan. Well, hell's bells. That's significantly different from 95% of traders. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so now you got this situation where, is this when you bet against the lagging moving averages? Well, that's a tough decision. And you'll have to make it. Okay. So if you're a bull on this and you follow your Stokes, hang on now. No, I'll have to back out one more. Back out. Then, okay, this is the trade plan. Okay, now I'll remind you, this is what we developed in the swing trading group 1 or 2 weeks ago. So if you're in the live stream now and you're just getting schooled, you should think about it. You should be able to do your trade planning days in advance, if not weeks in advance. Strategically. Because, you know, like an algorithm, it's an if-then. If price gets down to this level and then it reverses, in particular on a smaller time frame, then you go long and you hold it for a couple of weeks and take it north to 67. So you're long at 63.5, 64, going for 67. There should be 333 in it for you, for your trouble. What do you think? Was that some good trade planning? I don't know if it's right, but do you appreciate the logic of putting together trade plans? Was that good? Make sure you click the thumbs up button. Give it a like. Thank you. Same thing. What were you waiting for if you were a bull? Plan A, Plan B. Already been discussed, already been planned. We already have this. Plan A is we come down to this price. If it comes down to 69.61 and then it reverses on a small time frame, you buy it. Did it do that? No. So plan B was if it comes down to 68.70, and then it reverses on a small time frame, you buy it. Did it do that? Yep. Yep. Now, the conundrum a lot of amateur traders have is that they're like, well, what if it comes back up to this level and falls? Well, then you're going to lose money. It's going to come up to 70 and drop because there's more bears than bulls. Then they're like, well, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't know that. How would I know that? So you have to make decisions on some other reason. This is a risk on play. Okay, so you're risk on. Now, what I said after I planned this is that you should probably find a better trade than Aussie dollar versus US dollar because of the reserve currency risk, where if the dollar wants to get strong, it's going to get strong. It'll overpower even a strong Aussie dollar. It'll say, we don't care about the China reopening play in the United States. The stock market's crashing or something, right? So I said you might find a cleaner run on the yen or the Swiss franc. But nonetheless, the trade plan is valid. Well, USD Swiss franc again is going to be funder versus funder. And I'm not a big fan of that. Obviously, there's a huge interest rate differential, but so this is what's in play now for risk on trades. Okay. This one's not as clean. What it's done is it's come down to the 50%, so I got to adjust. See, this time I'm not using pivot points. Okay. I'm using Fibonacci, and that's kind of what it looks like. Okay, buy it at 90, go to 95. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we can do some dollar pairs, and then after that, I think we should do gold, oil, and Bitcoin. So USD pairs, and then gold, oil, and Bitcoin. So I switched this one for some reason, huh? Okay, got some more risk on move going here. This makes more sense of euro up, dollar down. Before it was euro down, dollar down. And like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, now we just went over a whole bunch of other Aussie trade plans. This is very similar, although the start throws things off. So if you're a bear on this pair, your target is 106. So bears are going to try this over the next several days. And like I expressed before on the Aussie pairs, this is a buying price and this is a buying price. Which one worked? Well, also, if I get rid of that, if I only do, let's say, swing trading bearish bias, let's zoom in here. The entry, okay, was a front runner. Okay. Now, right, so you get that, and there's your Friday front run. And notice this, at 106.73, it's the bearish profit target, which means exit, doesn't it? That's the profit target. That's not an entry, that's an exit. And in particular, we hit it on a Tuesday. Okay, what does the training course say when that happens? Okay, this seems to be an OOP entry. When there's an OOP entry, it says you're probably going to hit your target on Monday or Tuesday. And then what does the training course tell you is likely to happen? Back to the central pivot, which is this number here. Okay. Whoa, dude. So that tells you, okay, if you're a bear, you should be prepared for a much bigger pullback. That's your sell zone over there, which sucks because I hate that after a higher high. Okay. Now, on this time frame, which would require maybe more like monthly pivots, I look at this and there's a couple of things going on. We have to price in more rate hikes at the euro, but we have to price in more rate hikes for the dollar. And I think you're going to get a lot of this. Richard says, what about yen buying bonds this month? Is that a risk? Well, you want to look at seasonality. Wow, this is really, did I click USD scan? They're all, none of them are set on euro, dollar. Why, this is all messed up. All right, well, let's throw down our pig dog. I think we already did Aussie, but it should be here. Okay. Okay. All the way down to support. Okay. Bears sell here and bears sell here. So I'll do it like this. Because it's the same color. Okay. Bears sell here. Bears sell here. So even if you're a bull, you should be prepared for that. There's a sniper there. One of my first businesses I owned, I used to hire, I don't know, 5 or 6 retired guys to help me out. I'd literally go to the old folks' home and say, who wants to make money today? I'll buy you breakfast. But you gotta be ready to go at 4:30 in the morning. Not a problem if you're an old timer, huh? And one of the old timers, he used to tell me about when he served in the Pacific in World War II. And he was telling me, he said, you'd get your instructions and you're going to go on a little hike. You're going to hike up that mountain, find some Japanese soldiers. And he said, do you know what the likelihood of being, if you were point, which means, I don't know, you take 12 guys and someone has to be at the front. So you're hiking up the hill, blump, 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 going on patrol. And you're the guy at the front. He said, do you know what the odds were that you'd be shot by a sniper? He said 100%. You just didn't always die. You usually died, but when it was your turn, you were going to be shot 100%. Oh my God, huh? So anyways, you got to know where the snipers are. And there are snipers right there. Yeah. It was just your turn. Milos, you up? Yeah, Lucas, it's true. Got to know where the snipers are. So even if you're a bull, you got to know where the bears are waiting for you. Remember, they've set up an ambush. I look at this and nothing really makes that much sense. So even though they're moving, I don't think people are actually trading USD CAD. Weeklies don't really make sense. Monthlies don't really make sense. It's moving because people are trading CAD and people are trading dollar. There's not a lot of flow between dollar and CAD. So yeah, so I look at them like, nah, I wouldn't trade that if I were me. All right, let's do gold, oil, and Bitcoin. My WTI. So we had a build of, I think it was 4.2 million barrels. And we're now at the upper bounds of supply in the United States. Okay. And so there doesn't need to be a rally in my WTI. We'll see. But there's not a shortage anymore. And so now that oil has to be turned into product. Now, there's a shortage of diesel, but I have my ears to the ground. And what I'm hearing is China's going to produce diesel. India's going to produce diesel. Kuwait's going to produce diesel. I'm sure the United States is going to produce diesel. And everybody wants to sell it to Europe for extraordinarily high prices. So what happens if that is correct? Yeah. Now I think about QuantBox for future products because there's so many things I want to do with that. And I know there's a service because I cover it in my oil trading course that monitors day by day buying and selling of crude around the world. And so I know I can simply pay money to that service. I don't know what it costs. But if we have enough subscribers to QuantBox, then money is not an object, because then I can just take that money and go to that company and say, I want you to report as real time as possible, the buying and selling of crude oil around the world. And imagine having an active chart that updates every few minutes. And we show the different types of oil around the world. So all the oil that kind of goes into the Brent category, whatever. And you just show all this oil, and it shows, like, for example, China making oil purchases in near real time. And you can see the regions as the purchases are being made. It goes pop, it goes up, pop, 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 pop. And you can see, right? You see it in almost like nearly real time. Not the futures contracts, but the actual physical market purchases. Because that costs money, you see? And we buy and sell money. So even if you're not an oil trader, that would be interesting for the reserve currency. But if you're an oil trader, to be watching that. So a rumor on the street is China usually buys oil from Angola every day, but they haven't bought oil from Angola for 5 days in a row. And something might be afoot. Something might be rotten in the state of Denmark. And you're like, whoa, why isn't China buying from Angola? What's going on there? Wouldn't that be cool to see that? Like, I almost see like, right? Like all the bar charts moving in real time. So purchases from, let's say, Angola purchases from China 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, and then like a moving average or something. And you're like, wait, purchases are low this week, but maybe they'll be high next week. And somehow we can make money on that. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyways, when I know that we are at the top of the 5-year range, and we're perfectly fine with WTI. So maybe we get a mid-range top here. And maybe it comes back down because supply is enough to meet demand. Taking a look at gold. Okay. One of the things I was looking at back, there's a little trade there. I think you can see it. I notice it's slamming through the monthly and below the 21. And what I thought it would do is kind of come down into here, but I think I was a little aggressive. Not because it's not working, but I should know that this is the selling zone. And so I overplayed my hand a little bit. Okay. That's a risk-off play, and currently it's risk-on. But I'm still going to play what the chart says. Okay. So sort of like, I wouldn't say a bad entry, but inadequate. I could have waited a little longer. Basically, I tried to kick it off the 21, but I should have realized that we had M2 as support. And so the next entry using a swing methodology would be a revisit to 1900. So I'm okay. It's not great. I don't feel good. I don't feel bad. Okay. But that's that off the lower low. And then Bitcoin. Okay. Hourly and a day trade looks like that. Actually, that's pretty close. Okay. Expand it out a little bit. Go to the 4H. And you can play it like it's already crossed. So that's a front run. You could do it for sure because you have the lower low already. Okay. Bitcoin coming down. I'm not thrilled about the top monthly wise. It's not great. But it looks like your next buying opportunity, if we're going to use technical analysis for that, would be 21,000 and then 20,000. Okay. So right now we have a base. We'll call it that. We'll call it a crown. So we'll take the top of the crown to the base. And you say, base, how low can you go? Death row. What a brother no. Okay. And it gets us kind of down to nomad's land, but 20,500. Okay. So 618 to 2618. What do you think? We're at the 4-hour 5 EMA. That's a plan A sell. Plan B sell would be up in here off the 855.21. So again, plan A would be sell it now-ish. And the next one would be sell at 23. $250 range. That ain't nothing. Okay, there's your risk on move. Okay. I'll move this out to a 30-minute so I can show you. Today's target for the S&P 500, if you are a bull, is 4,173. Okay, there's the entry. It can go a little higher, but that's not what the entry says. Now, if this changes and we end up with a bearish day, because remember, I think we're just slightly higher than a bear zone. Okay. So if it ended up doing one of these on you. Whoa. If it ended up doing something like that on you today, I don't know if it will or not, but if it did, then you got to flip that pivot upside down, but I'm not sure. I mean, look, it just says back to the top. Okay, so bullish can be fine here. Okay. Once again, it seems like bulls are buying around 41, bears are selling around 42. Everyone else is getting ripped apart. Okay, in between. Okay. So holding. Germany giving back some at the close, huh? Still very bullish on the 4-hour. See, I think that's where people really start to improve their trading. when you're able to wait 3 or 4 days without trading to get into a trade. I think when you focus more and more on your 15-minute and your hour and your 15-minute and hour, you miss the better trades, in my humble opinion. But I don't know you, but it's still food for thought. Okay? Even if you want to trade the 15-minute or daily, you need to filter everything through that 4-hour and daily chart. And what I call that is strategic and tactical Forex trading. Your strategy is created on the 4-hour and on the daily. Your tactics are created on the 5, the 15, and the 1 hour. But you got to start with strategy first. I look at it the other way. Richard says the way he looks at it is if you can win in day trading, swing trading is easy. I look at it the other way. If you can swing trade, your day trading improves exponentially. Because I think where people go wrong with day trading and intraday trading and scalping is they have very little idea of what's going on. So their trading is like a chicken with its head cut off. It's just running around in circles, making a bloody mess of everything. Byrne says, well, you can always trade another asset. Agreed. But the thing is to have them all lined up. So I would even go as far, if I was me, I would find trades that look good to me. So like I want to buy DAX somewhere between the 2155 in the future. So I would print that out and I would put it above my computer screens as a reminder that I got my eyes on that prize and I got to check out where it is now versus where it'll be in a few days. And then I go find something else. And then I'm like, ooh, well, if this thing happens, I might be interested. So I find whatever that is. Maybe it's an Aussie yen long, or maybe it's an Aussie Swiss franc long, or something like that. And I like it technically on a daily chart. I'm okay with it fundamentally. If it's my bias, I check seasonality, all that kind of stuff, and I like it. And then I put it up right there. I like it mental though, Bernd. I like to do the work. Maybe down the road when you've already have those skills. Okay? But yeah, whatever works, right, Bernd? I just want you to succeed. All right, well, I think I'm done. I got a lot of work to do on the FX Bootcamp community. So once again, to all FX Bootcampers, when you log in, it's going to look the same. There's a video area where all your video training courses are. Great. And then over to the right, something that says day trading group or swing trading group community. You click on those and then you're like, oh my God, what the hell is this? Well, I'm trying to get all that organized, so don't freak out. But today at 4 p.m. is our meeting. It should work really fine. And so bear with me. It's going to be slightly different. It's not going to use Zoom rooms. All that technology is built into FX Bootcamp now. So it'll be similar to Zoom. And but I've never used it yet, so we'll do that. I'm going to do some breakout rooms because this technology has breakout rooms, which is great, but I haven't done it yet. And then the recording, where does it go? I don't know yet. You'd think I'd know, but once again, they just threw it out there on me. So we're out there. We're live. So we'll figure all that out, but trust me, it'll be fine. It'll be great. It'll be okay. And, for example, you're in a swing trading group, so you can have access to that room. But one of the things you can do is you can click a button to say, I'm going to attend, right? And you can schedule it in your calendar. And so your calendar will then give you the reminders to log in. Stuff like that. Like it's just nice. It'll remind you, hey, now it's time to log in for the swing trading group. That kind of stuff. It's just nice. There's lots of little improvements. But today should be okay, but it might be a shit show. But don't freak out. The future's bright. So bright. You got to wear shades. See, I'm Canadian. That's Corey Hart. So anyways, thanks for being on my team. If you're not part of the FX Bootcamp community, now's a great time to join. I just added more value. It's $88 a year. It's going to get epically cool, man. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you at 4 p.m. Cheers.